Yeah, thanks to our hosts. So we did the World Conference, and that was in the summer. It was great. It was the second BigBlueButton World Conference. It was hosted by Think Modular, so they provided us the platform Open Social, which has BigBlueButton built into it now. And that platform enabled us to basically have people sign up. It's the same platform we used for the BigBlueButton World Conference. In terms of use, and this is pretty much underscores the popularity of BigBlueButton in Berlin, this was an image from Baden-Württemberg, the server cluster they had set up. They had over 185,000 concurrent teachers and students in BigBlueButton across thousands of sessions that was supporting virtual classes for 3,000 schools running Moodle. And that was using SQLite, BigBlueButton, the Moodle integration. It was incredible when we saw that. The French Ministry of Education is now using BigBlueButton as a state webinar system throughout the entire ministry, 1.2 million users. And the goal is to move it into the K-12. They have 6 data centers around France where they can actually go online completely with BigBlueButton. And they have also been a great supporter of the project. This was a slide that they had from a presentation over the summer, and it showed that 92% of instructors would recommend BigBlueButton to another user. And in terms of like the work that we're doing, there's a lot of stuff that we want to do to improve BigBlueButton, some of which we explored here. And again, they've been a big supporter of us. And this was a tweet in regards to some discussion online for the French ministry adopting BigBlueButton. One BigBlueButton nationwide for online courses is a dream. The engagement dashboard, real-time polls, and vector whiteboard coming in the next release is by far the best educational tool. That's what we like to believe. That's what we like to work towards. And I'll talk a little bit about the messaging in a moment. That was another Moodle 4.0 release with BigBlueButton integration. And Moodle 4.1 just released a day or two ago, and it has updated integration with BigBlueButton. The developers on the Moodle integration have worked really hard to just make sure that the code is the highest quality possible, and because it is embedded in the core, it gives others a very high comfort that they can use this plugin to integrate with BigBlueButton. This was a survey that was done at some collection of German universities asking what webinar system they use or what virtual classroom they use. Most of these are video conferencing systems, whereas we're a virtual classroom. But as it was told to me before I saw the results, we wouldn't be disappointed, and BigBlueButton is the number 2. And we think, of course, for virtual classrooms, it's more purpose fit, much better than the others. This is another graph showing that a lot of the schools use collections of tools. This is very common everywhere. And again, we are not trying to, be a video conferencing system. We want to be a virtual classroom, and video is inside of that, but there's just more to being a virtual classroom than just video. This one is important. This is a picture of a woman, a young student taking classes in Ukraine. So there are many people in the world which do not have access to a physical school. It wouldn't be safe for them to go or to travel back and forth. The only way they're going to be able to get access to education is either through their community, their family, or online. So when we're building BigBlueButton and trying to build what we want is the world's most effective virtual classroom, one that maximizes time for applied learning and feedback. There are tons of people around the world. There are millions and millions of users around the world that have used BigBlueButton. One company alone has done over 2 billion minutes, we know, during COVID. But there are people like that we're building it for. All of us deserve access to a high quality online learning experience, and every educator deserves the best platform to deliver it. And these are the people that we're going to benefit the most. Okay, so I want to give you we did some high level slides that just summarized some of the moving parts of BigBlueButton. So on the community, there's lots of areas. Some of these we actually been working on. You're going to see a demo of some work that we've done to the documentation because we think there are some things we could do to have updated it. But a lot of the pieces of the community And then in terms of the platform itself, so again, BigBlueButton, it has got many components to it. And we think about the hygienic ones, like things that are underlying the core, accessibility, security, scalability. We'll talk a bit about that. Usability, we'll talk about that. The core product is basically the core capabilities we're building upon, and the features which you see today at top. And we'll talk about some of the features that are coming. And then, of course, scalable deployment. You have a single install server, BB install, and you have load balancers and other tools to monitor BigBlueButton servers. And then the integrations, the front end, of which we don't work in isolation. You have to have something that takes you into BigBlueButton. Greenlight, Moodle, LTI, others that are more very much heavily used, Canvas, Schoology, and other parts, Drupal, RocketChat, Mattermost, and there's lots more. So roadmap for 2023. The ones here in bold are the ones we're going to show some examples of. There's a lot that we want to do, but we kind of organize into 3 groups: speed bumps, accelerate, and new roads. Since we're in Germany, we use a car analogy. So there's lots of usability issues or speed bumps that we want to improve upon. Tyler will be talking about that. Things like individual lock students, global mute, unmute. We want to get a self-test page at some point, so students or users have a chance to test out their internet connection before going into BigBlueButton session and maybe getting feedback. To accelerate things that already exist, like smart slides, we want to make them constantly smarter. The goal is to, maximize time for applied learning and feedback. That's how we think of BigBlueButton. Maximize time is to make the product, make the things a teacher has to do easier, so they takes them less time to do common things, and they have more time for getting the students to engage. So smart slides is a way to have upload the slides, and BigBlueButton start doing some things like, hey, that's a poll, or looks like you want to cover an area of the slide, or things like in the future, hey, you want to create breakout rooms? Let's in the slide, I'll just pull out the names of the breakout rooms in the slides. A simple Jitsi-like front end, like how easy can we make it for students or users to go in if you're testing out a BigBlueButton server? Grid view, polls with correct answers, emoji streaks, assign webcam to a presentation area, insert blank slide. These are all things that we have been hearing about and we are interested in doing in 2023. New roads would be live transcriptions, which you'll see an example of that. If you watched the presentation I gave at the BigBlueButton World Conference, talked about breakout vision and whiteboard vision, we'll show examples of both. That's really cool. And other things would be like plugin architecture, two-way sharing of data with LMS. For example, if the LMS knows the user has not entered their last or submitted the last two assignments, make that data visible to the instructor in the session. And Matrix as a really good secure distributed collaboration framework. We want to look at and explore the Matrix integration. Okay, with that, I'm going to turn it over to users or people here that'll individually come up and give you a demo of what we've been working on this week.